同学们好，今天我们继续讨论美国3个政府分支其中的立法分支。这是联邦宪法第1条 Article 1里面所规定的所确立的美国立法分支。At the federal level, the legislative branch has a bicameral Congress, 两院的国会 which consists of House Representatives and the Senate, 联邦众议院和参议院。At the state level, all states but one have a bicameral legislature. 所有的州立法机构除了内布拉斯加之外都有2院，都有州众议院和州参议院，只有内布拉斯加州只有1个州议会。All representatives have senators, are elected by the people, and have legislative responsibilities. 所有的众议员和参议员，无论是联邦众议员还是联邦参议员，都是由人民直选产生，然后他们都有立法的责任。大家知道美国大选每4年一次，美国中期选举每2年一次。中期选举是选举议员，大选是选举议员和总统。但是总统理论上讲却不是由人民直选产生的，而是由选举人团产生的，所以这样才会出现赢得普选票的候选人没有当上总统。那么这就是2000年的 Al Gore 和2016年的 Hillary Clinton 的情况。联邦下院，联邦众议院 United States House of Representatives. The United States House of Representatives, also known as the lower house of Congress, was designed to be more representative and responsive to the people. Each state received representation in the House proportional to its population, with a minimum of 1 representative. 所以越大的州，它的众议员的数量越多，越小的州众议员的数量越少。The most populous states are California, Texas, and New York. Several states have only 1 representative. 人口较少的州，譬如说 Alaska, Delaware, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Vermont, and Wyoming. 这些州都只有1位联邦众议员。The number of voting representatives is always 435. 全联邦的众议院有435名众议员。议会上院 United States Senate, 联邦参议院。The United States Senate, also known as the upper house of Congress, were designed to ensure equal representation of each state. Each state is represented by 2 senators, rather than the number of senators being based on population. 不管大州和小州，每一个州都是2名众议员。The less populated states, therefore, have an equal voice in Congress. The total number of senators is 100. 每个州2名参议员，全国100名参议员整。Each senator serves for a 6-year term, which is the longest elected term in the United States government. 参议员每届任期6年，是美国政府联邦政府里面任期一期最长的，但是没有任期限制。The terms are staggered so that every 2 years, a third of all Senate seats are up for election. There are no term limits. 它这个设计上面是每2年会有1/3的参议员席位需要重选，但是这样的设计既保证了参议院会有重选2年的重选，同时也保持了它一定的延续性，6年一任期。The Vice President of the United States is officially the President of the Senate, but presides over only few Senate debates and can only vote when to break a tie. 就是说，联邦政府的副总统名义上是参议院的议长，但是他一般情况下是不投票的，只有出现50对50的情况下，合众国的副总统、参议院的议长才可以投票。在国会里面，一个 bill， 一个议案，怎么样成为联邦的法律呢？那么看这个图表就很清楚地告诉大家，从立法分支制角度讲，最初是一个 idea， 理想情况。这个图表是指的是在国父们的心中，立法过程应该是什么样子的。首先是一个 idea， 这个 idea 是有可能是议员的 idea， 也有可能是人民提出的一个 idea。这个 idea 由议员的助理们或者议员本人写成 bill， 写成一个议案，然后提到议会进行 congressional debate and vote。一个议案一般都会有2个版本，一个众议院版本，一个参议院版本。在众议院投一次票，进行讨论投票，在参议院讨论投票。如果2个版本都通过了，在众议院也通过了，在参议院也通过了，2个版本就会进入到一个叫做 reconciliation 的这样的一个过程。2个版本要平衡，要协调成一个版本，然后递交给总统。来签字。总统对于这个递交给他的这个议案有2个选择，一个是 sign， 签字，签字就可以变成 public law， 就变成了法律。也有可能把它否决 veto， 总统有1票否决权。经过2院漫长的立法过程之后成为的法案，总统有1票否决权，可以 veto 之后议会可以放弃 veto， 也可以回到议会 veto， 也可以被再次否决，总统的否决也可以被国会否决。那么国会再经过绝大多数的议员投票，2/3以上的多数投票，可以把总统这个否决掉。那么这个议案还是也可以成为法律。这个图表就给大家一个非常清晰的直观的概念，整个美国立法过程的全过程是什么样子的。这个是我们说的是理想状况下的情况。现实生活之中，议案被政治势力所左右，被财团所裹挟，被利益集团所操纵，被政治集团所利用，比比皆是。但是宪法的设计最初并不是这样的，宪法的设计是既保证人民群众的呼声可以得到代议制民主，在代议制民主的系统里头得到最大的体现，同时又设计了若干的制衡的机制，来确保不会出现多数人的暴政。 那么一个议案要经过 debate， 经过投票，总统这一关还可以最后再卡一关。虽然是人民的声音，但是有可能大多数有的情况下，大多数人的呼声并不是理性的，所以这个是立法的过程。最后我们看一下美国三权分立的最后一个分支，这是在宪法的 Article 2里面所体现的 Executive Branch 行政分支。这个我们所谓的就是中央政府，这是联邦政府。The President of the United States is the leader of the country, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and head of the executive branch of government. The Vice President is the official President of the United States Senate, and will become President if the President can no longer serve his term. The Vice President is a part of the Cabinet, 是内阁成员。那么这里头说到这个总统的延续，总统被弹劾、辞职、被刺杀或去世，副总统继任。如果副总统同样遭遇问题、遭遇不测，不能履行职责，那么排名第3的就是众议院议长。我们刚才说的 House of Representatives， 他的首脑叫做 Speaker， 英文好像翻译直译是发言人，实际上意义它是议长的意思。The executive departments， 它是统称为 the cabinet， 内阁。内阁 advise the president on issues and carry out policies. Each department is led by a cabinet officer. Cabinet officers are nominated by the president and confirmed by the Senate. Most cabinet officers receive the title of secretary. 所以我们一说 Secretary of State， 国务卿，他是内阁的最高的内阁部长，他实际上相当于外交部。Secretary of Defense， 国防部长，所以他们大部分都叫 Secretary。Administrative agencies 也是行政分支的一个重要组成部分，他们是 working arm of the executive departments, implementing policies and developing regulations that provide guidance to the government and the public. Administrative agencies can be either quasi-legislative, issuing rules and regulations. 这里指的是行政分支是可以制定一些行政规章制度的，所以它有一准立法功能。Or quasi-judicial, making laws through decisions, such as National Labor Relations Board. 这个 board 它有资格进行判决，它的判决不是司法判例，是行政判例，所以说它有准司法功能。The Security and Exchange Commission， 联邦证监会 can do both， 它既可以立法，也可以进行司法裁决。所以你看，在行政分支中的一个部门，它可能拥有相当广泛的权利。美国的行政分支的这些主要的部委如下 ：The Department of Agriculture， 农业部 ；The Department of Commerce， 商务部 ；Department of Defense， 国防部 ；Department of Education， 教育部 ；Department of Energy， 能源部。Department of Health and Human Services， 健康是人力资源部。Department of Housing and Urban Development， 房屋和城市建设部。Department of Interior， 内务部。Department of Justice， 司法部。Department of Labor， 劳工部 Department of State 国务院及外交部 Department of Transportation 交通部 Department of Treasury 财政部 Department of Veteran Affairs 退伍军人事务部 Department of Homeland Security 国土安全部。那么美国移民局、美国边防局、美国边境执法局联合组成的是国土安全部 Department of Homeland Security， 这是911之后成立的一个新部，拥有非常广泛的权利。Executive branch 的工作是什么呢？ Executive branch 的职责是 enforcing the laws。 Legislative branch 制定法律，制定 statutes。 Executive branch enforce the law， 或者说 police the law， 或者 legislative branch 另外一个职责是 administer and execute the law。怎么样 administer 和 execute 执行这个法律呢？它 create administrative regulations and working rules 来执行法律。所以美国的法律包括立法机构颁布的成文法，司法机构做出的司法判决判例法，和行政机构制定的 administrative regulations 行政规章制度，统一成为美国法律的一个整体。当然，所有这些法律都是在宪法框架之下运行的，在所有这些法律之上是美利坚合众国联邦宪法。所以现在我们一起来阅读一下美利坚合众国联邦宪法。
The Constitution of the United States of America, September 17, 1787.
Preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Article 1. Section 1. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. Section 2. The House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of the several states, and the electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislature. No person shall be a representative who shall not have attained to the age of 25 years, and been 7 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of the state in which he shall be chosen. Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states, which may be included within this Union, according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding to the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years, and excluding Indians not taxed, 3/5 of all other persons. The actual enumeration shall be made within 3 years after the first meeting of the Congress of the United States, and within every subsequent term of 10 years, in such manner as they shall by law direct. The number of representatives shall not exceed 1 for every 30,000, but each state shall have at least 1 representative. And until such enumeration shall be made, the state of New Hampshire shall be entitled to choose 3, Massachusetts 8, Rhode Island and Providence plantations 1, Connecticut 5, New York 6, New Jersey 4, Pennsylvania 8, Delaware 1, Maryland 6, Virginia 10, North Carolina 5, South Carolina 5, and Georgia 3. When vacancies happen in the representation from any state, the executive authority thereof shall issue writs of election to fill such vacancies. The House of Representatives shall choose their Speaker and other officers, and shall have the sole power of impeachment. Section 3. The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, chosen by the legislature thereof, for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. Immediately after they shall be assembled in consequence of the first election, they shall be divided as equally as may be into 3 classes. The seats of the senators of the first class shall be vacated at the expiration of the 2nd year, of the 2nd class at the expiration of the 4th year, and of the 3rd class at the expiration of the 6th year, so that 1/3 may be chosen every 2nd year. And if vacancies happen by resignation or otherwise during the recess of the legislature of any state, the executive thereof may make temporary appointments until the next meeting of the legislature, which shall then fill such vacancies. No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained to the age of 30 years, and been 9 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state for which he shall be chosen. The Vice President of the United States shall be President of the Senate, but shall have no vote unless they be equally divided. The Senate shall choose their other officers, and also a President pro tempore, in the absence of the Vice President, or when he shall exercise the office of President of the United States. The Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. When sitting for that purpose, they shall be on oath or affirmation. When the President of the United States is tried, the Chief Justice shall preside, and no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present. Judgment in cases of impeachment shall not extend further than to removal from office, and disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. But the party convicted shall nevertheless be liable and subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment according to law. Section 4. The times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof. But the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations, except as to the places of choosing senators. The Congress shall assemble at least once in every year, and such meeting shall be on the first Monday in December, unless they shall by law appoint a different day. Section 5. Each house shall be the judge of the elections, returns, and qualifications of its own members, and a majority of each shall constitute a quorum to do business. But a smaller number may adjourn from day to day, and may be authorized to compel the attendance of absent members, in such manner and under such penalties as each house may provide. Each house may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and, with the concurrence of 2/3, expel a member. Each house shall keep a journal of its proceedings, and from time to time publish the same, excepting such parts as may, in their judgment, require secrecy. And the yeas and nays of the members of either house on any question shall, at the desire of 1/5 of those present, be entered on the journal. Neither house, during the session of Congress, shall, without the consent of the other, adjourn for more than 3 days, nor to any other place than that in which the two houses shall be sitting. Section 6. The senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services, to be ascertained by law, and paid out of the Treasury of the United States. They shall, in all cases, except treason, felony, and breach of the peace, be privileged from arrest during their attendance at the session of their respective houses, and in going to and returning from the same. And for any speech or debate in either house, they shall not be questioned in any other place. No senator or representative shall, during the time for which he was elected, be appointed to any civil office under the authority of the United States, which shall have been created, or the emoluments whereof shall have been increased during such time. And no person holding any office under the United States shall be a member of either house during his continuance in office. Section 7. All bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments as on other bills. Every bill which shall have passed the House of Representatives and the Senate shall, before it become a law, be presented to the President of the United States. If he approve, he shall sign it, but if not, he shall return it, with his objections to that House in which it shall have originated, who shall enter the objections at large on their journal, and proceed to reconsider it. If after such reconsideration 2/3 of that House shall agree to pass the bill, it shall be sent, together with the objections, to the other House, by which it shall likewise be reconsidered, and if approved by 2/3 of that House, it shall become a law. But in all such cases, the votes of both Houses shall be determined by yeas and nays, and the names of the persons voting for and against the bill shall be entered on the journal of each House respectively. If any bill shall not be returned by the President within 10 days, Sundays excepted, after it shall have been presented to him, the same shall be a law, in like manner as if he had signed it, unless the Congress by their adjournment prevent its return, in which case it shall not be a law. Every order, resolution, or vote to which the concurrence of the Senate and House of Representatives may be necessary, except on a question of adjournment, shall be presented to the President of the United States, and before the same shall take effect, shall be approved by him, or, being disapproved by him, shall be repassed by 2/3 of the Senate and House of Representatives, according to the rules and limitations prescribed in the case of a bill. Section 8. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. To borrow money on the credit of the United States. To regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with the Indian tribes. To establish an uniform rule of naturalization and uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States. To coin money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. To provide for the punishment of counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States. To establish post offices and post roads. To promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries. To constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court. To define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas, and offenses against the law of nations. To declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. To raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money to that use shall be for a longer term than 2 years. To provide and maintain a navy, to make rules for the government and regulation of the land and naval forces. To provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections, and repel invasions. To provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states, respectively, the appointment of the officers and the authority of training the militia according to the discipline prescribed by Congress. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district, not exceeding 10 miles square, as may, by secession of particular states, and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of the government of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be, for the election of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings, and to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers, and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States, or in any department or officer thereof. Section 9. The migration or importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year 1808, but a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation, not exceeding $10 for each person. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended, unless when, in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. No bill of attainder or ex post facto law shall be passed. No capitation or other direct tax shall be laid, unless in proportion to the census or enumeration herein before directed to be taken. No tax or duty shall be laid on articles exported from any state. No preference shall be given by any regulation of commerce or revenue to the ports of one state over those of another, nor shall vessels bound to or from one state be obliged to enter, clear, or pay duties in another. No money shall be drawn from the treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law, and a regular statement and account of the receipts and expenditures of all public money shall be published from time to time. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present, emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state. Section 10. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. No state shall, without the consent of the Congress, lay any imposts or duties on imports or exports, except what may be absolutely necessary for executing its inspection laws, and the net produce of all duties and imposts laid by any state on imports or exports shall be for the use of the Treasury of the United States, and all such laws shall be subject to the revision and control of the Congress. No state shall, without the consent of Congress, lay any duty of tonnage, keep troops or ships of war in time of peace, enter into any agreement or compact with another state, or with a foreign power, or engage in war unless actually invaded, or in such imminent danger as will not admit of delay.